What is going on, guys? Seed here with another episode of Spooky Season Special / Spooky Warmups, right? Well, technically it is still summer. It's literally the summer solstice, right? So we're just warming up. In reality, we're warming up, and that catalog is getting huge, so you guys can check back the classics, right? Of every game that we've tried out for, Spooky Season, right? But guys, check it out. We're back in Bones of Halloween for another stab. And trying to beat our high score, right? In terms of enemies killed, right? And something about the aesthetics, guys. It just takes me back to the 90s, right? 90s style PC gaming, maybe 90s, early 2000s, right? Depending on how hard you used to push your hardware, right? On the PC or anything like that, right? But the textures on this, right? It's definitely low budget compared. It feels very low budget, right? In terms of the aesthetics, right? The design, but that's not a bad thing. Right? It brings you back to an era of gaming that you remember, right? And obviously the output's gonna be probably a little higher, but definitely old school vibes, just hitting you right there, right? And for some reason, I've taken a strange liking to this game because of the randomness. It's definitely the randomness, right? So if you guys recall, I did like Crypt of the Necrodancer for that same reason, just because of the tiny changes that happens, right? And when you're picking up weapons, it's that those little tiny adjustments, not the major drastic adjustments on the map, right? It's just the tiniest little things that change the game in a big way, right? And in Bones of Halloween, right, it's the fortune cards, right? So the fortune cards, what they essentially do is that when you randomly get to choose a fortune card, all the enemies on the map, they collapse, right? That's the first thing you have to understand. Any of the enemies, any of the pumpkin heads, they collapse, right? And they automatically hit the floor, right? So as you see right there, right? We'll wait for more enemies to appear on the screen, but as soon as they hit, so two things happen, right? Two things definitely happen. You get a little health boost, right? Just a little tiny smidget of a health boost back, and fortune cards, right? The fortune cards give you a random perk, right? So it's a really cool design, right? That adds uniqueness, right? It keeps the game a little fresh, right? Not too fresh, but it is still monotonous, right? You're just taking out enemy after enemy after enemy after enemy with, there's an assortment of weapons, and then you have to pick up all the coins, right? It's kind of tedious, right? In a sense, right? But it still does have a fun factor, right? The fun factor is still there, right? It's just after a while, right? You're just killing enemies and killing enemies and killing enemies, but I want it every now and again. It's okay, can I best my score? Can I best my high score, right? And I don't think I think this is definitely my best run to date, right? So obviously I understand how the map works. I understand the dynamics on the map in terms of how the move, in terms of the weapons you can pick up, right? To some extent, I can anticipate what type of cards, what type of fortune cards I will pick up, right? And yeah, guys, it's literally just learning where I guess the weapons are on the screen and making sure that you're fresh enough. You're fresh enough to take out as many enemies as possible, right? Obviously, if you hit them in a certain area, guys, they'll drop, right? Headshots, definitely. It's definitely headshot style games, right? And it's a huge pumpkin head, right? So it's pretty much easy mode, right? I got a burp. But yeah, what else can I say? My health is at a 90, right? And I'm just picking up weapon after weapon, right? But I'm being you have to play the game. You'd have to play the game yourself to understand the fire rate on the weapons, right? Because obviously I can't go faster. I actually can't go faster than what you're seeing in terms of the fire rate, right? If I could, I would, right? But I also don't want to waste bullets, right? So it's two-tier, right? I want to be accurate. And anyone who plays Call of Duty, plays zombies, anything like that, this isn't too far removed from those style of games, right? And it's definitely fun. Now, for some reason today, oh yeah, by the way, if anytime you use a rocket launcher, you don't want to use it. It's a distance weapon. Obviously, you die, right? You die if you know, like the enemies get too close to you, right? But for some reason, I had a little bit of trouble today using the rocket launcher. I think I was like in like I think there was like too many enemies on the screen, right? And yeah, as you see right there were a whole bunch of enemies. There were a whole bunch of enemies on the screen, and as soon as that fortune card hit, all of them just disappeared, right? So that's good times. That's easy peasy for me, right? And guys, look at that long range shot. That was a thing of beauty, right? But then I just hit the tree, so there you go, right? So right now my health's at 80, right? And guys, I am feeling good about this run. Usually if you have like a false start in it in like one of these runs, right? Just like in any sports, anything that you need to you know, like synchronize correctly, right? And just make sure you make the right decision from the start, from like the get-go, right? Like if we were talking about track or false starts, right? Stuff like that. Right? If you don't sync up correctly and you just make that stupid bad run in real time, sometimes like you make a mistake very early on and it can get in your head, right? But today it just felt like I wasn't in my head in terms of like taking out these fucking heads, right? And I was pretty much like, you know, like I felt good. I felt refreshed, and I didn't feel like it was a chore to create a video for you guys, to create some content for you guys, to keep this channel alive, and just to keep the good times flowing, right? Just to, you know, like do my best to show you guys a really good run in this game. I had a lot of fun. I'm not joking with you. I had a lot of fun doing this. Literally just did it, and now I'm doing the narration for it, right? So you guys are hearing this, right? Like literally right after. And this is actually my favorite weapon in the game, right? This particular weapon, right? It's a single shot, right? A single shot, and it works well in this specific context. In this game, this specific rifle works the best, right? It's the most effective weapon on the screen. Similar to, like, for me, I'm always going to use Quake 2 as a reference point for me, right? Because that's where I was, like, you know, like, back in the 90s, I was that kid on the PC, right? I was that little demon kid, right? In railgun only matches. This particular weapon, right, acts like a railgun in here, right? It acts similar to the Quake 2 railgun, right? So I'm one of the Quake 2 boys, if you guys are new to the channel, right? I'm one of the old school Quake 2 boys, Quake 2 multiplayer boys, Quake 1 and Quake 2, right? So, yeah, so, like the rail only matches, right? This kind of takes me back to, like, whenever I pick up this weapon, right, it instantly reminds me, because the effectiveness on the screen is right there for you to see, and all you have to worry about is your accuracy, right? It's the same thing in Call of Duty. It's the same thing, but I'm much older now, so my reflexes are kind of like, you know, like I'm just like trying to like, right? Some of my reflexes are still there, but obviously, you know, it's I'm just an old fart now in terms of like. I think like the peak for when you're playing games, right? There's like a peak where like if you start young, right? All the other gamers, right? Gamers will tell you, like it's like when you're in your teens. When you're in your teens and you're a gamer, right? Your reflexes are insanely fast, right? Like your responsiveness, your timing. And as you grow older, right? A lot you're against the clock, right? You're just year by year you're just against the clock, right? And it takes that much more. And plus the distribution of your energy. We've talked about this in the other videos, right? Your distribution as you get older, you distribute your energy in many different facets of life, right? It's just ever increasing, right? And you never really come up for air at times, right? And that also that's just one of those things, right? So in any case, right? Yeah, guys, I'm at 82 health. We've got a whole bunch of weapons, right? We've got a good catalog of weapons, right? And ammo. Like I was like looking for like more of the ammo, more of the ammo boxes, right? But nowhere to be seen on the map. right? I think once the ammo boxes run out, they're kind of right? I don't know, like maybe I'm like too far away from the map, right? Too far, like I've been on the back foot too long, right? Sometimes you can get caught in like that back pedal motion, right? And then you have to learn to strafe and go side to side. And, you know, like you gotta mix it up, and you gotta jump. And I used to hang with a lot of like these dudes, right? Way back when, right? In multiplayer, they would just have an array of just, you know, like skill sets in terms of like jumping, double jumping, right? And depending on the game, right? And they would just, you know, like they would put me to shame depending on the weapon that they would use. They would have a specific style weapon that they would use, and it was just good times, right? Like you'd play with them and you'd learn so much, right? About how to rip some insane shots, right? And yeah, all the Call of Duty boys, right? This should be right up your alley. It's just only this is like a themed game, right? So if you guys are looking for like a single player experience, that's like really just like chill, but also not chill at the same time. So just like test your level, right? Test where you are, right? In terms of like dealing with enemies on the map, right? This is a great test run, right? Type game. I would say like just to keep reflexes sharp, right? In terms of like first-person shooter stuff, right? Now the enemies are running 15% faster. So my health is at 63, and I've been on the back pedal and in one area of the map for too long. So as you can see, the enemies are in the red and they're behind me, and I'm out of coinage, right? Yeah, sucks, right? So we're back to using the stupidest little weapon, right? The weapon that we started with, right? But we're at 63 health. And I'm gonna take a breather. Let you guys just watch some of the action on the screen. Oh, that backpedaling, huh? I don't know with these cards, right? With those cards, what is it with the fog, right? Like I don't know. Like I started picking up fortune cards, right? And yeah, the fortune cards started like dishing out the stupidest like rewards, right? Like the fog, it just kept going back and forth. The fog is now this dense. The fog is now that dense. The fog is now. It's like, man, come on, give me something better in the fortune cards, right? So the randomization in terms of like the fortune cards, it really makes the game, this game, right? And Crypto Necrodancer has that kind of same feature, right? And it brings you back, right? Because you're not necessarily getting the same weapon over and over. Rate of fire is finally faster, right? So yeah, your rate of fire is locked in this game, right? So you can't really defend yourself as well as you'd hope, right? It does prevent you from wasting your ammo, because your ammo is limited in this game as well. But guys, we're still going in this map, right? And I'm at 37 health, right? And you guys gotta give this a go, right? A couple bucks to pick up the game, right? If you ever do pick up the game, right? It's not an ad. I literally just picked up the game, and I've been doing some rounds like in my spare time. I like to just like break up from any monotony I may be experiencing, right? And you know, you get to try out some new games, try out some. You know, you just get to chill out, right? Chill out, take a load off, and relax, right? So my level's at 29, and these enemies are running fast, and I am down to like the bare bones, like weapon. I'm down to like nothing in terms of like weaponry, right? And yeah, there's like a refill box, right? I'm down to like 29 health. The bombardment of enemies, right? It's just, what can I tell you guys? Oh, I gotta run. Health is at a 19. Let's see. 20% more range. That's a good thing. Okay, so right here our health is at 21. But guys, we're coming at the end of this video because I think I landed at the wrong weapon, right? So health is is down to a 6. But guys, likes, comment, subscription, notification bell, they all help keep the channel going. Peace, love, all the blessings to you and yours. Sid out. 169 enemies. Guys, can you do better? Give it a shot. Cheers. Out.